Hello my friends, Amy Esther here with week 28 of my pregnancy. We made it to the third trimester, you guys. We are here in the last stretch of pregnancy. Only a few more months until we meet baby boy. If you missed any of my other pregnancy updates, I have the playlist of all of my pregnancy updates in the description below. I've done one every single week of my pregnancy. Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm already out of breath. Whew. Man. Very out of breath. Anyway, I've done one every week and will continue to do one up until the end of my pregnancy. So if you're watching this in the future, you can watch all of my next few weeks, next how many, 12 weeks of my pregnancy or so, give or take. And you can watch all my previous videos, even if you're watching in real time, those are all there ready for you. So I hope you guys are enjoying these pregnancy updates. If you're new here, I'm Amy Esther. I have several chronic illnesses. You can learn all about them in the links below or all over my YouTube channel or on my Instagram page. I talk all about it, but I'm also pregnant, and so I share with you my pregnancy journey with chronic illness. And this week, you guys, has been a rough one. It has. I've been to the doctor multiple times this week trying to get some stuff figured out. So we're going to talk about all the things this week going on, and definitely still have a lot of shortness of breath that is still here, as I feel like it is in all of my videos recently. I'm just out of breath the whole time I'm trying to talk to you. It's rough. But anyway, so for this week, first of all, I'm 150 pounds. We just hit that 150 mark. Whoa. And I kind of think at the end of this pregnancy, I'll be around where I was with my daughter. When I was pregnant with my daughter, I was, I think, somewhere between 160 and 165 when I had her. And at the end, I had a lot of water weight. So I actually lost a lot of that really fast after I gave birth, but I kind of think I'll be around that same 160, 165 range when I have this baby, as long as he makes it until the end of this pregnancy, until 40 or so weeks. If he makes it that far, then I think that I'll probably be around the same weight as I was with my daughter. And it's kind of funny because I actually started out about 15 pounds lighter when I started this pregnancy than I did when I started with my daughter, because I'd been on Clomid and a lot of hormone medications to get pregnant with her, and so that made me gain some weight at the beginning. And so it's kind of funny that throughout my pregnancy, I'll probably end up being the same, even though I started out a lot lighter this time. I don't know. Pregnancy is weird, but I feel like my body just likes that 160 pounds at the end of pregnancy, I guess. So today we are at 150, and we'll see how it keeps going through the rest of my pregnancy. So I have gained a total of 29 pounds this pregnancy, and I had my 20-week pregnancy appointment last week, and I talked about it in my 27 week because it was actually at the end of my 27th week that I had the appointment, but it was technically like my 28-week appointment. We just had it a little bit early, but in that, I tell you, everything that happened last week. I did have kind of a rough week last week, so I was a little scatterbrained, but I think I talked about my ultrasound and all the things going on with my pregnancy. Brain fog. Oh no, pregnancy brain. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, my appointment. Everything about my appointment last week, except for gestational diabetes, because I hadn't had that test back yet, but I just got it back today and it was negative, which is really good. I was really worried I'd have that because when I'm in the second and third trimester of pregnancy is like one of the only times I'm not on a diet. As in, I try to eat healthy, of course, for the baby, but when I'm not pregnant, I eat paleo or AIP paleo. Just helps a lot of my chronic illnesses. But when I'm pregnant, it's just really hard for me, and so I don't typically eat as strict on a diet. So I thought I was going to have gestational diabetes and then have to get back on a diet, but I don't. So that's really happy. But I have had a lot of crazy symptoms. I've had excessive thirst. Like, I cannot drink enough water to feel satisfied. Like, I don't remember the last time I didn't feel thirsty, and I'm drinking water literally all day long and all night long, and I'm just always still thirsty. And I didn't really think of it as abnormal because I know you're extra thirsty when you're pregnant. I know you pee a lot when you're pregnant, so I didn't think of it as really abnormal until my husband said something a few days ago. And that's when I realized like I'm always thirsty no matter how much I drink. So that can be a sign of gestational diabetes. And luckily I don't have that. But there's some other things that could be going on. So I actually talked to my doctor about that today. And just before I get to that, the reason I actually went to the doctor was not because I was so thirsty. The reason I went to the doctor today again was because last week this is really hurting. Speaking of doctor, got some blood work done. So I'm going to take this off because it is hurting. And now I have marks all over my arm. I don't know if you can see them, but anyway, I think it's been long enough. I had lots of blood work today, which we will talk about in just a second. Anyway, the reason I went in today is because last week at my OB appointment, they tested me for anemia, and I am anemic, and I've been anemic like most of my pregnancy, and so I've been taking iron my entire pregnancy. I was anemic with my daughter as well. So I took iron my entire pregnancy, and I tested positive for anemia again last week. So my OB suggested I go back to my primary care doctor and see if there's something else going on that's causing me to not absorb the iron, or if it's a different type of anemia, and just see, because I have so many chronic illnesses, see if something else was causing all these problems. And I have been so exhausted from this anemia, like no energy. Like the fact that I'm sitting up to film a video is taking all of my energy for you guys, but I want to film these videos every week. And so even though I really don't have the energy, I am here to use all of my energy to film this. And I am just laying down all day. I always feel tired. I always feel sleepy. I always just feel fatigued and achy. And I have a lot of chronic illnesses that cause a lot of chronic fatigue. And so I always feel that, but it's just been like times 100 where I seriously I don't feel like I don't have any good times during the day. I'm just exhausted from the time I wake up till the time I go to bed. I just feel like I have zero energy. And I think it's because I'm still anemic. And I think this anemia is actually getting worse because it's just like every week I feel worse and worse and worse. I have less energy. Like a couple weeks ago, I could at least like once a day, clean up the house, or once a day run to the grocery store. And now it's like that just sounds impossible. So my husband's been helping me out a lot with housework. And then I try to just like do little things throughout the day. For example, like I try to just always do our dishes right after we use them, clean off the countertops right after we do it, just so I don't have a big cleaning to do. I just kind of do little bits through the day. But man, I am just so exhausted. So anyway, I went back to not my OBGYN. I went back to my primary care doctor this morning. And I actually haven't seen him in a while just because I've been pregnant and I was doing pretty well. Even though I have a lot of chronic illnesses, I felt like I was doing pretty well. So I haven't been to him in a while. And so I kind of updated him on everything going on. And what he told me is with anemia, there are 3 things that could be low. It could be iron. It also could be B12 or folate. And so he put me on a folate and a B12 multivitamin to add to my prenatal, because I was still taking folate and B12 in my prenatal, but we wanted to add a little bit more. So we added that, and then he, of course, tested my levels for those, see if we can figure out what's wrong. If it is iron, then I probably will need an IV of iron, and possibly if it's B12, do B12 shots. We haven't really decided exactly what we will do, but we need to figure out why I'm anemic first. So we did a bunch of blood tests for that. I talked to him about my gallbladder. I think I'd mentioned this. My gallbladder has been hurting really bad, just like a stabbing pain in my upper right side, all the time. And actually a few years ago, I got a HIDA scan, which tests how well your gallbladder is working. And mine came back saying it was only working at 28%. But my doctor at the time was a different doctor, what are they called? Sorry, you guys, brain fog as always. This is my life. I just live with so much brain fog. My GI doctor is who it was. He told me that test can come back wrong. And since I wasn't having a lot of gallbladder pain, I was having more just like stomach pain. He didn't want me to get my gallbladder out. Really wish I had of then because it's getting so much worse now. What my primary care said today is that I probably have been having gallbladder issues this whole time, as in like the past like 5 years or so. But when you're pregnant, it puts just extra pressure on all of your organs. Like they have to work even harder. And so because of that, I'm having a lot more pain when I'm pregnant. It happened with my daughter as well. And this one's just getting worse and worse. So we talked about that, and we're pretty sure I'm going to get my gallbladder taken out after the baby comes. I think I can make it until then. It's very painful, but I don't want to risk going through surgery with a baby. And so once I have him, we will go back in and probably have some surgery to get rid of my gallbladder, because that's been a problem. And then he also helped me with some of my migraine issues. I've talked about these a lot. I get lots of migraines, especially being pregnant. And we found a medication that we're going to try. I don't do well with pain medication, but he said it's a little bit different than the normal pain medications that I've been taking or that I've tried in the past. And it's safe for pregnancy. And so I'm going to try that, and I will let you know if it works, and I'll let you know what it is if it does work. I don't want to like share all about it if it doesn't end up working for me, but that's something I'm going to try as well because I've had the worst migraines lately. And then of course testing my blood for what's causing me to be anemic. And then with the extra thirst that I've been having, he has asked me like, okay, do you pee more than like you did with your last pregnancy? And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, but I do drink a lot of water. So I just like never thought about the amount that I urinated as the problem. I was thinking it was the amount of water I was drinking. And so he suggested, he did do some urine sample, like to test for a few things. I don't remember what they were testing for, honestly. But we did a lot of blood tests and then some urine tests. And then he gave me this giant jug that's like this big, and it's so gross. But I have to basically fill it up with my pee for 24 hours. And we want to see, you know, how diluted it is and how much I'm going in 24 hours, those kind of things. Just to see if that's normal, because I've had such excessive thirst and been going to the bathroom so much. And so we got a lot of tests done today, lots and lots of tests. But I feel really good about it. I feel like these are taking in the right step to hopefully get me some help. So far, baby boy looks like everything's good from our ultrasound. He seems healthy. But I'm just a little worried about, you know, being anemic if it is causing problems for the baby. And so hopefully we can get that figured out. I know typically like he takes what he needs. So I'm hoping that like he's getting all of the iron and all of the B12 and all of that stuff and taking it from me, and that's why I'm so sick. Not that like we don't have any together, if that makes sense. Like I'm hoping he's just taking all of it and that he's healthy and safe, and I'm totally happy to be sick for him if it's helping him. But man, it has just been a week, you guys. And I'm just so sick. It's ridiculous. And I feel like sometimes I get on here and I have a smile and I like set up my nice camera and I just look like I'm feeling so good and I put on some makeup. But the truth is, you guys, I have been incredibly sick. Just awfully sick. Like I don't even know how to explain it. But I'm just so sick, and it's been kind of everything. I felt a lot of pain because as he's getting bigger, and I've talked about that before, tons of gallbladder pain, a lot of nausea, and then the fatigue and muscle aches are just getting so bad. And then I just remembered one more thing from my appointment is that my blood pressure is still really low, and it's just kind of riding that line of not low enough that it's like I need to be in the hospital, but it's just like right at that line. So like 90/60, anything under that is where it gets a little concerning. And I'm like riding that line. I'm like always about 90/60. And when they tested me today, it was the same thing. And so he told me increase your salt even more, which I already do for POTS. You guys don't follow my health part of this. If you're just following my pregnancy, you might not know that I have POTS, and POTS causes just some issues with blood circulation is kind of the simplest way to explain it. And so I have to have a lot of salt and a lot of water. And he said, my blood pressure getting low, I need even more salt. So I might start taking some salt pills and trying some new things because I am not getting that blood pressure up, and that's not good either. So it's just been a week, you guys. Oh, I shouldn't say week. It's been like this most of my pregnancy. I've just been so sick, but it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And this week has definitely been the worst. I've just been incredibly sick. So anyway, you guys, that is week 28. I try to be very positive and uplifting on this channel, but the truth is some days are just so hard. And some days I'm just so sick, and that's where I am right now. But I am so grateful to be pregnant. I am so incredibly grateful to be carrying this sweet baby boy. I'm so grateful that from all the signs that we can see that he is doing really well. And I'm so grateful for doctors who are there to help me and to hopefully find some answers for me. Next week, I hope that I will have my blood test back. The nurse told me that it might take a little bit of time to get some of these tests back because they have to be sent out. So possibly my next week's update, I will have the results from those tests, but it might not be until the week after. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss when that comes out. See how we are doing either on week 29 or week 30. Hopefully soon we get those tests back. I will keep you guys updated through the last bit of my pregnancy, hoping things get better, but if they don't, just hoping that baby boy is safe and healthy. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos each and every week. And I will see you guys next time.